All right, so now that you know how to build rapport, the next step is how to prepare for your first session. For you as a therapist, the first session is a big step in the right direction. You are creating the first of many changing steps for this client and the family. And in order to achieve this, there's 5 steps that we broke down to make your first session successful. Number 1, check in with the parent if you're holding sessions at home, or check in with the supervisor if you're conducting session in the center. During your debrief, you want to ask questions like, did the child sleep? Did the child have a good breakfast? You're basically asking the caregiver or the supervisor what setting events occurred prior. Setting events are events that could affect the individual going into session. So an example of this would be if you're holding a morning session and let's say the child didn't have a really good breakfast, then you know going into session that you might want to run a feeding goal or maybe wash hands and then go straight into having a breakfast. For center-based, or if you have a client who's starting session after school, it's still very important to debrief with the parent or supervisor because you might want to ask questions like, did they have a good meal at lunch? Did they have a rough day at school? So that way you know what you're getting into and how you want to start your session with the individual. Once you have all that information, number 2 is you want to start with preferred activities. So this is similar to the first step that we just gone over, which is the rapport building. So it's still very important, even if you've worked with a client for 3 months, 6 months, and so forth, you still want to build that rapport building 15 minutes into the session. And the way to do that is you still want to conduct preferred activities, play through preferred activities. So you'll do this essentially for 15 minutes, being mindful not to place any demands. Number 3, conduct a preference assessment. So just because an individual really likes what we're going to say unicorns, it could be a different day, right? Different day of the week, the child is satiated or bored of the unicorns. In that case, you want to conduct a preference assessment. Preference assessment means you're conducting what are some reinforcers other than the ones you already know that the child wants to work for or play with. Number 4, implementation of goals through play. So when you're implementing these goals, it could be attending goals. It could be manding or requesting goals. You want to essentially still do this through play. That's the best part to running a session, is having the child be enjoyable and during the sessions as well. And you do this through play. It's very natural, and we'll go into naturalistic environmental training in a little bit. Number 5, ending session. So there's a few steps that you need to do during the last 15 minutes of your session, and we'll go into that in a little bit, but essentially you're providing a more grandiose reinforcer at the very end of session, which basically states that the child did a really good job. This is now their reinforcer. So if you follow these 5 steps of structuring your session, you for sure will have a successful session. Now let's take a quiz.